Like, according to Vedanta, what is the main root cause of suffering?
I don't know who I am in my true nature. I only know some adjectives about myself. I am tall, dark, young, handsome, old. Then who am I?
Oof, that hit me hard.
The Sanatan Hindu Dharma had declined because there were lots of rites, rituals which were being done meaninglessly. There were so many animal sacrifices, caste system had degenerated, many things had happened. So people had shifted to Buddhism. So Adi Shankaracharya ji came, did his duties, revived Sanatan Dharma, and if not for him, we would not be practicing Sanatan Dharma today. And quietly he disappeared.
All of us to practice detachment.
Detachment can be practiced with a simple mantra, we call it as wow, with or without. So with a promotion, you say wow. Without a promotion, you say wow. If the morning coffee you get, you say wow. If you don't get the morning coffee, you say wow. To be happy every moment is detachment.
That is so good, yeah. What is your advice in order to find the Swadharma? Yeah.
One is introspection. Second is exploration. And third,
do you remember one moment in your life where you really felt the power of transformation of Vedanta?
yes, so there was a particular surgery that I had to go through because my ejection fraction of my heart had fallen down to less than 30%. And this happened like within a span of like 1 year, and I was not aware. And suddenly there was tiredness, fatigue, exhaustion, and many things. And I went through a certain treatment that was not helping, and it was actually a wrong treatment. And finally, they found that there are some, so there's arrhythmia and different parts of the heart are beating very without any sync rhythm. So they did a process called radio frequency ablation, which was supposed to be a 20-minute procedure. But when they went, so through the catheter, they enter inside and then they identify which part of the heart, and they will burn by passing this radio frequency.
Wow.
So the heart will actually will feel heat
Yeah.
inside. So when they went inside, they found some 54 parts of the heart are to be burnt. And they are close to a very important part of the heart. And so each part they burn, then they have to wait for 5 minutes, 7 minutes for the heart to settle down. Then they have to burn again. There was no anesthesia, nothing. So 6.5 hours it took.
6.5 hours.
On one side, there is some glucose, something. On the other side, there's some BP measuring something, and it's lying down there. 20 minutes I thought, and it went on 1 hour, 1.5 hours, up to 6.5. So I saw the power of Vedanta at that point in time because I was chanting Kathopanishad, I was chanting Kenopanishad, I'm thinking of Gita, I'm thinking of, I said, whatever happens, happens. It's the body. It doesn't matter. If it has to drop also, it will drop. How does it matter? So there was no fear, there was no anxiety, there was absolutely nothing. So I saw at that point in time, no, the power of Vedanta is such that once you know that you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, then absolutely fearless. So that was one of the most stunning things that happened.
Yeah. Do you have any other example of someone also that came to you and after connecting with Vedanta also had a deep transformation in their life?
So different people have been there in that sense. People who have had suicidal tendencies, who have come across Vedanta, and how slowly that knowledge of Vedanta has given them a lot of strength to not only face life, then they have bounced back in such a glorious way that we don't recognize that this is the same person who could have had, who had some point in time had thought of committing suicide.
Wow, tell me the story.
The story is like this, this person felt very shattered because in an accident, the family had perished. This person was left alone. And the relatives are there, but the immediate family gone. So they're very traumatic. And young person, must have just completed graduation. Decided, no, I don't want to live. There's no point in living, etc. And One friend slowly introduced him to Vedanta. Very unwilling, the person came to, friend is calling
I tried.
you, I just try it out. Then started listening, understanding. Then I also gave some books of Swami Vivekananda to him. There's one particular book called Thoughts of Power. It's a very small booklet of Swami Vivekananda, but very powerful thought. And because I didn't want to give a big book, they may or may not read a small booklet. So I said, in that also there was one section on strength. So I said, just read this much only. Those are only 4 pages, small, this much size, small page. Now he read that. Then he came back saying, this was very helpful. What can I read next? And slowly started giving him some more books. And then introduced Vedanta systematically. In about 4-5 months' time, those tendencies all gone.
Wow.
And slowly introduced japa, japa, chanting a mantra. So introduced japa and connected that person to the Lord. Now that person is on his own because knowledge is there, japa one is doing. And this person completely changed.
Wow. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, according to Vedanta, what is the main root cause of suffering?
The root cause of suffering is ignorance of the self. I don't know who I am in my true nature. I only know some adjectives about myself. It can be connected to the body. So we say I am tall, dark, young, handsome, old, whatever, and sometimes it is connected with the mind. So we say I am happy, I am sad, I am successful, I am a failure. Intellect, some ideals. So one may say, I am a capitalist, I am a socialist, I am an atheist, I am a non-believer, I am a believer, whatever, devotee, anything one may say. But these are all adjectives connecting to the equipment. And the equipment is perishable, equipment is changing. Each night in deep sleep, we are not aware of the body or the mind or the intellect, but still we are. And so that's what Vedanta says, that identify who are you. Don't take on the role to be the reality. This is only a role. Like the cloth is not me.
Mhm.
The BMI is the cloth. That's the analogy given in the Gita. So I am not this body, mind, intellect. Then who am I? I am that truth which is enlivener of the body, mind, intellect. Like we say this electricity. The electricity enlivens the bulb, then the light will come through the bulb. If the bulb is merely there is no electricity, there is no light. Same way, what is making this function is that truth which we call as Sat, Chit, Anand. Pure existence, consciousness and bliss. That's like that electricity. Now that electricity is what will make this whole thing function, which if it is not there, this will not even exist. So every moment, every single thing in this body, mind, intellect is completely changing. But who is aware of the changes? That awareness is changeless.
Oh, I see.
That awareness is our true nature. And that awareness is the same in everybody. That doesn't change. Thoughts change, body changes, feelings change. But the awareness doesn't change at all. The same electricity in this bulb is in that small light, is in that LED also. Everywhere is one electricity. Swami Chinmaya used to call it as BMI. So BMI chart, he created a very beautiful BMI chart. Where there would be an Om on the top, V below that, V means vasanas or past tendencies, then BMI, body, mind, intellect, PFT, perceiver, feeler, thinker, and OET, object, emotion, thought. So through the body, I, the perceiver, perceive the world of objects. Through the mind, I, the feeler, feels the world of emotions. And through the intellect, I, the thinker, thinks the world of thoughts. So OET, object, emotions and thoughts, is the world of experience. PFT, perceiver, feeler, thinker, is the experiencer, Mr. So-and-so, the individuality.
Yeah, yeah.
BMI is the equipment, body, mind, intellect. And all of us have BMI. What makes us different from each other is the V, vasanas. Each of our past impressions, tendencies are different. So they appear differently in people as desires in the intellect, emotions in the mind, and actions at the body level. Basic 5 elements make up this body. But why is it that each one is different? Because of the past impressions. This whole thing is perishable. Om is that infinite consciousness which is enlivening this entire thing. It is like that electricity. And that is same in all. So when I don't know my nature is Om, then I'm thinking I am the body, mind, intellect, and I'm thinking of myself as an individuality, and then I feel finite. So I'm running in the world outside to experience happiness. To get this, I will become happy. Then when I go there, I will be more happy. When I eat this, I will be more happy. And one doesn't recognize fundamentally that what I am seeking is permanent happiness. I am not seeking temporary pleasure. But delusion is such that we think that temporary pleasure is going to satisfy me. So we are running, finding different things. And we find we find some desires fulfilled also. But fulfillment inside has not come. So wants get fulfilled, but wanting doesn't get fulfilled. So wanting continues.
Okay.
And how does that end?
Yeah.
It will never end.
Never ends, yeah.
Because outside is anything which we get from out is perishable. For a short while, I will get some pleasure. Again, some desire will arise. This cycle is what in Vedanta we call as the cycle of birth and death, and this is called bondage. That to fulfill desires, I keep taking new bodies, and this is endless. That's why it's called as samsara.
I read something very interesting that Adi Shankaracharya in the 8th century, he created Vedanta. And I think the Hinduism was in decline, and then he revived Hinduism. It's an amazing story. Maybe you can tell us about what happened and what was his contribution.
Yes. So Adi Shankaracharya ji actually is one of the greatest propounders of this knowledge of Advaita Vedanta.
Yeah.
He is not the founder of Vedanta. Vedanta is what we say is found in the end portion of the Veda.
Oh.
So that knowledge is called Vedanta. So that has already been there. But he is one of the greatest propounders and the revivers of that system. So yes, the Sanatan Hindu Dharma had declined because there were lots of rites, rituals which were being done meaninglessly. There's so many animal sacrifices, caste system had degenerated, many things had happened. So people had shifted to Buddhism. Then Buddhism also declined. So as a result, there was intellectual directionlessness in the whole society, where people are not having a particular philosophy, and Sanatana Hindu Dharma also had so many sects into which it was broken up. Now, when he was born, so historically there are debates about his time period. Some people say 8th century. Many actually believe he was around 400 BCE, after Buddha but before Christ. And so this was the situation where complete this intellectual disintegration is there and people don't have direction, they don't have clarity. At that time, he decided to revive the Sanatan Dharma, and he was born to Aryamba and Shiva Guru, his parents, as a result of worship to Lord Shiva. And at a very young age, he mastered the Vedas. By the age of around 6, he mastered the Vedas. And at 8, he took sannyas. He renounced the world.
Wow.
His father died when he was very young. At 3, the father died. The mother brought him up as a single mother, gave him the initiation into, got him initiated into the Gayatri Mantra, made him study the Veda. And at 8, he decided that I need to go because my culture needs me. And he took the permission of his mother and he went. And he went from Kerala, Kaladi, to Omkareshwar to search his guru, and he found his guru, Govinda Bhagavad Pada, there. He studied under him, and very soon the guru also was very pleased with him, and he told him, so Shankaracharya approached him, asking him that I want to write commentaries on the three main books, Bhagavad Geeta, Upanishads and the Brahma Sutras. The Guru said, first write a commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam. And there he wrote the whole commentary on Vishnu Sahasranam and submitted it very quickly. So the Guru started reading and he couldn't put it down.
Wow.
And he said at the end of it, henceforth you don't need any permission of mine. You can write commentaries on whatever you like. And he instructed him, go to Kashi and write these commentaries there. And so that's where he went. He went across the country conducting debates. And the tradition in those times was that when you conduct a debate, if you lose in a particular viewpoint that you have, then you take up the viewpoint of the winner and accept it. So this way, one is through debates, he revived the entire Advaitic tradition.
Wow.
From various schools of philosophies who are propagating them themselves. So he was a great karma yogi who served the nation, who revived the Sanatan Dharma. He was a great bhakti yogi who wrote so many compositions, established temples, revived many dilapidated temples. He was a great Jnana yogi who conducted debates, revived Advaitic tradition, put up the 4 mathas to spread the knowledge of Advaita. So that way a very, very great person, just in a span of 32 years, he did the entire thing and quietly disappeared. There is no specific place where there is Samadhi of Shankaracharya. People say he disappeared behind Kedarnath ji. There's a statue there now. That's not really a Samadhi of his. But came, did his duties, revived Sanatan Dharma, and if not for him, we would not be practicing Sanatan Dharma today.
Wow.
He was one of the greatest people who brought it back single-handedly. When he started, the Sanatan Dharma was very divided, broken down, had reduced quite a lot. Buddhism had taken over a lot. Single-handedly converted it and actually sent Buddhism out of the country. So many people went, came back to the Hindu fold.
Wow.
So that is what the contribution of Shankaracharya is.
That's huge. Good. Okay, we go back to the what is real happiness according to Vedanta.
So according to Vedanta, real happiness is our nature. We don't seek it outside. That which is infinite is happiness. So in Upanishad, there's a very beautiful line which says, Chandogya Upanishad says, Bhuma eva sukham. That which is infinite alone is bliss. Alpe sukham na asti. That which is finite, there is no real happiness there. There is only temporary pleasure. And so where there is no limitation of time, space, object, that is the truth, that is the self, and that is where the true happiness is, which is our nature. To experience that,
Exactly.
Vedanta would say, detachment is true happiness. Any attachment will bring sorrow. To the extent I am attached, to that extent will be my sorrow. So, my sorrow is directly proportional to my attachment. Greater the attachment, greater will be the sorrow. We may blame people outside or things outside or situations outside for our sorrow, but honestly, sorrow comes mainly from our attachment inside. I am attached to this, that without this I can't be happy. Vedanta says, the equation we have created, I plus object is equal to happiness. That's an equation I have created.
Oh, I see. Which is external, right? Which is
external.
Yeah.
Vedanta says you just drop the dependency from the object. The equation will become I is equal to happiness. You don't need any object. With or without that, you can be happy. And that, when one experiences, that is true freedom. Because I don't depend on anything from my happiness.
Yeah.
Not even this body.
Yeah.
If the body is there, very good. If the body is not there, doesn't matter.
I love it.
That is true Vedanta, where one says, my nature is Satchidananda. So there is no fear in that person. So detachment is that which will make you fearless, which will make you very happy. In Bhajagovindam, Adi Shankaracharya says, Kasya sukham na karoti viraga. What happiness is not available to a person who is absolutely dispassionate, who has nothing to gain from the world, there is no dependency. I may still do my duty, I may work in the world, I may get some goal, but my happiness doesn't depend on any of this. That's an internal shift that person can do anytime. Whew.
I'm having goosebumps now.
So detachment is happiness. And finally, desirelessness is happiness.
Yeah.
See, the state of deep sleep, there is not a single thought, not a single desire, but one is most happy in that state. A small child really is so spontaneous and joyful, very happy. Why? Because the clinging is not there, possessiveness is not there. So that state of desirelessness is the state of happiness. State of detachment is the state of happiness. And both these, when one cultivates, one will come to realize infinity as one's nature, and that is true happiness.
I see. One thing that comes to my mind is our lives. How can we practice detachment? Going, we have relationships, we have jobs, we have desire, we have everything. How do we go ahead with our life practicing detachment?
So detachment is not going away from people. It is not disinterest. It is not indifference.
Yeah.
Detachment is, in today's language, people say, give me my space. Give me.
Okay. Yeah.
So detachment is actually accepting people as they are without insistence. Ki only when they behave like this, then I am happy.
Oh, I see.
You learn to accept them as they are. See, simple example, suppose I say, do you expect a lemon to be very sweet?
Mm.
Do you expect a bitter gourd to be, very, let us say, tangy?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Do we expect a tiger to eat grass?
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
If there's a tiger, then we know, okay, this is a tiger, there's a danger, I need to run,
Yeah.
or I need to protect myself. Now I have understood. When I have understood, I will accept. When I accept, then my behavior will be appropriate.
Yeah.
Our problem with people is we don't accept them as they are. We want them to be who we want them to be. That is attachment. Detachment is to just accept them as they are and then give the right response, give the appropriate response. And it doesn't mean that we approve whatever they are saying or behave in a way in which only they want us to behave. No. We stick to what is the duty, what is right, and accept them as they are. Once we do that, slowly we do what has to be done. Like see in the Gita, Krishna Bhagavan gives beautifully the whole knowledge he has given to Arjuna. Arjuna is dejected, despondent, he doesn't want to do his duty, fight the war, he wants to run away. Bhagavan gives him full knowledge of the Vedantic truths. And at the end of it, he says, I have done what I had to do. I have given you the knowledge. Yatha ichchasi tatha kuru. You decide what you want to do. That is detachment. Krishna doesn't say that,
Yeah.
I gave you this knowledge for 3 hours. Now you better do what I have told you.
Yeah.
No. He says, you decide what you want to do.
Yeah.
That freedom is detachment. And the beauty of that is Arjuna at the end of it says, Karishye vachanam tava. I shall follow what you have said because that's the best thing to do.
I see.
So that is detachment. And Swami Chinmaya used to summarize detachment in just one, two beautiful sentences. Do the best, leave the rest. That is detachment.
Wow. Kya baat hai?
Do the best and leave the rest. That's all.
So good.
Otherwise, people think detachment means indifference, going away to the forest or leaving people or not pursuing goals,
Yeah.
not being ambitious. You do your best. And if that best is for a higher purpose, actually the best will be only that. Like your podcast name is so nice. Something bigger, means beyond yourself.
Exactly.
Beyond if I go, the best that I can discover is infinite.
Yeah.
And so if I dedicate my actions to the divine,
Yeah.
that is do the best. And then whatever comes to me, I accept that result. In technical language of Vedanta, if I say, Ishwar Arpan Buddhi and Prasad Buddhi, dedicate action to Bhagavan and receive the results as they come with gratitude and humility. That is detachment.
I see. Myself, I think in the past, I was that was something that was difficult for me. Was to detach from my goals.
Yeah.
I always had big goals, big ambitions, but I was always too attached to the goals. I improved a lot. So now I'm trying to do what you're saying. So for people who are in the same situation, they feel there's stress, there's anxiety because of an attachment to a goal. What is your advice?
So Vedanta says that you disconnect your work and your worth. What we have done is our work and our worth have got equated.
Oh, yeah.
What you are saying, right? The
Yeah.
goals. So there's nothing wrong in having high goals, no problem.
Yeah.
But only when I achieve that goal, then I am worthy enough, or I am successful enough,
Yeah.
or I am happy, or I have proved myself to be someone, or the society looks upon me as a certain person. Now my entire life, I am waiting for that kind of a validation, that kind of a success, that kind of a praise. Vedanta says you disconnect these two.
Yeah.
You have a high goal. For what reason then? To make a difference, to achieve something nobler,
Yeah.
to create an impact in a positive way. Keep the goal high, no problem. But enjoy the process.
Yeah.
And know that you are anyway growing. There's nothing to lose in this. Every single moment I'm actually growing, whether I achieve that or not. If I learn to love the journey, and if I learn to have this clarity that my worth does not depend on my work, then I will perform my best without pressure.
Yeah.
See, some functional pressure of timeline, etc., can be there out there. That is not
Exactly.
a real issue. That can be managed. It is a psychological pressure where I am building it up in my mind, the stress. That can go when I anchor in this clarity that I am happy no matter what, whether I achieve something or I don't achieve something. If that clarity is there, then I will work with the best of the intentions and give more than my best also.
Maybe you can understand whoever wants to experience Vedanta. And what is a small step that it can be done?
So, Vedanta actually is the final step in one's evolution, because one has to let go of the ego,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes a lot of clarity to first understand why I should let go of the ego. Somewhere it was said very nicely, ego means what? Edging goodness out is ego,
Mm-hmm.
and edging God out. The moment I feel I am Mr. So and so, the divinity of mine I forget. Now, if I understand that to the extent I have ego, to that extent I am in a shell, my potential is limited. I am not able to manifest. I live much more in insecurity and fears and anxiety. And the more I break out of the ego, the more I will be able to manifest my potential, achieve success, have happiness in relationship, and as well as turn within and realize supreme happiness as my nature. So I have to study this as a proper science to experience the full depth of this non-duality, that everything is one, is not a simple principle to understand. So I have to listen first. That is called Shravanam. Naturally, there will be a lot of doubts when I listen, because it will go exactly opposite to whatever I have believed till now. I have believed I am the body, Vedanta says you are not the body. I believe that happiness is in the world outside, Vedanta says no, happiness is not in the world out.
Yeah.
I believe that, ego is necessary, Vedanta says ego is not required. Exact opposite of what we know, Vedanta will tell us.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have to reflect. That is called Mananam. So, the second step after Shravanam is Mananam. Reflect. There will be doubts which will clash with my existing knowledge. Clarify that using scriptural logic, not any, logic which is unsupported. So, use scriptural logic and read the lives of saints who have experienced this truth. Across the world, you will see so many saints have experienced the same truth. This logical experience, logical reasoning and experience of the saints, based on that, if I reflect, I will be able to change my thinking. Then the third step comes, which is nididhyasan, or what we call as contemplation, or today popularly people call it as meditation, where I learn to sit quietly and turn my attention within and assert who I am truly and negate who I am not. So we use passages.
Can you say that again?
Assert the truth of who I am.
Yes.
And negate who I am not.
Okay, yeah.
So like we say Nirvana Shatkam, no? Mano buddhi ahankara chittani naham. I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect, I'm not the memory, I'm not the ego, I'm not the five elements, I'm not the senses. Then who am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. My nature is infinite bliss, consciousness, auspiciousness. Now, in quiet moments of meditation, I have to turn within with single pointedness. I have to feel this. I am infinite consciousness. I am not this at all.
What is your message like for people who are watching and maybe they go through now some tough time, they go through some tough moments? What is your message?
So when we go through tough moments, there are different ways to understand that. Basically, I need acceptance. First step, Vedanta says I have to accept.
Wow.
Ki,
Yeah.
yes, this is difficult.
Yeah.
I am going through this. The faster I come into acceptance mode, the better it will be for me.
Yeah.
Because living in a denial mode, I am only going to complicate things further. And by acceptance, I don't mean approval of everything that is happening.
Exactly.
I only mean, okay, this has happened. Now, what should be my response? Instead of crying, why this happened to me, shift from why to how. How do I face this? Now, that shift Vedanta tells us, the message of Vedanta is, you can accept it by saying it is a part of my past karma. Nothing happens without karmic consequences. Or you take up the path of devotion and say it is the will of the Lord and I will do what is my best and I am an instrument. This result has come from the divine and I will accept. Now I will see how to respond because the divine has given me that freedom. We will. Or from Vedantic standpoint, you say that this is only something that has happened to the BMI. I am the awareness, I am the witness. Nothing happens to me. These are three methods, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Either of these three, if I learn to anchor in, and it's not that only one I need to anchor in, I can anchor at different points in time in different things because depends on what is the difficulty I am going through. If I need certain emotional strength and support, then I say, okay, this is come from the divine and I'm going to accept this. If I'm able to handle it through witness attitude, then I can do that. Or I can say a combination. This is the message, ki learn to accept life as it comes.
Yeah.
When it happens, ki the mind learns to be balanced and equanimous, then inquire into who am I? To whom is this even happening? That entity to whom it is happening only is a fictitious entity who is making such a fuss about everything.
Yeah.
That is the root. If you remove that, then everything is solved. That I am not that entity. That the dream creator when he wakes up, also the dream creature when he wakes up,
Yeah.
then one realizes, hey, it was only a dream and nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is a deeper part.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
simpler level, first I need to learn to accept things as they come.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah. And yeah, I think that will help a lot. Tough time, whatever it is, just accept it, right? That is that helps a lot. And you know, a lot of people today, also including myself, is it happens a lot of overthinking, right?
What
So what is your advice for people who overthink?
I would say 2 points. One is first and foremost, I must learn to practice single pointedness. Because the single pointedness is a very, very important sadhana. We call it as ekagrata. Eka means one, agra means point, single pointedness. So learn to do one thing at a time with full attention here and the now. Because this overthinking happens when I'm not in the now.
Exactly.
I have gone in the past or I'm in the future, I'm not here. In Gita, Bhagavan gives 3 leakages of the mind. He says regrets of the past, anxiety of the future and tension in the present. All overthinking is because of these 3. In the 3rd chapter, 30th verse, this will come. Nirmamo nirahankaraha yudhyasva vigata jvaraha. Nirmama is regret of the past, free from regret of the past. Nirahankaraha is to be free from the tension in the present. And vigata jvara, no feverishness. So no anxiety for the future. How will I get out of these 3? So Bhagavan tells there that you dedicate all actions to me in the present, here and now. When there is love in the heart, when I am doing something out of love, then overthinking will go. But when there is no not enough love, then I am stressed, anxious, worried, tensed. Because on the outcome depends my security, my feeling of happiness. So he says, you love here and now. So be fully in the present. And that's fully in the present also has two aspects. One is to, like, suppose I'm talking right now. My mind is here and now, thinking of anything else.
Yeah.
That is in action. Second, every day practice the withdrawal process, where I use a support system and hold on to that, excluding everything else. It can be the breath, it can be mantra, it can be some visualization, it can be chakra, whatever it is. You hold on to one support and mind will wander, you bring it back to that. The more I practice this single pointedness, you will see overthinking goes quite fast. So that is first step. And second step I would say is detachment. That I must learn to channelize my thinking towards what is essential and what is not essential. You know, my teacher used to say, just do it. If there's something I can do about it, just do it. If I can't do anything about it, just drop it. We do exact opposite. We worry about what I can't do and we let go of what I can do, and then that is the loop.
Yeah.
Then I'm overthinking more and more because I missed out on doing what I could do.
Yeah.
And then I am worrying about what I can't do and I'm feeling helpless. So detachment plays a very big role, and both these solutions that I've given is all from the Gita. When Arjun asked this question to Bhagavan, saying, whatever you have said about single pointedness, equanimity, all that is very good, but my mind is very, very restless. And he says, my mind is more difficult to control than a storm. It is restless, it is impulsive, it is strongly attached, and it is very, very stubborn. How will I make this mind quiet? There Krishna says, Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihate. You practice single pointedness and practice detachment. With these two, one will be able to bring the mind into focus.
Wow. You know what I love the most about what you said? It's about if you are overthinking, it means you are not present.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct.
Whew, that is so good. Yeah. That hit me hard. Yeah. Yeah. And then what you said, the first one is you practice, you focus on something. Give us an example so that we can practice in our own life.
So suppose you focus on the breathing.
Yeah.
Then every breath you take consciously,
Yeah.
with awareness that how the breath is going in, what is it doing in the nostrils, it is going down.
Yeah.
Windpipe into the lungs, how the stomach bulges out, your lungs expand, diaphragmic breathing I do, and now the whole process.
Yeah.
That is one practice.
Yeah.
Many people connect this to, Buddhism.
Yeah.
But it's actually a practice which is, maybe it has its thing in Buddhism also, but in Sanatan Hindu Dharma it's been there for a long time. It's called Prana Vikshana. Another support is a mantra. Very powerful is a mantra, because see, all said and done, breathing will improve my concentration, but it will not help me to surrender my ego. It will not help me to finally connect to a divine source of happiness, knowledge, love,
Oh, I see.
peace.
Yeah.
That is where the form comes into play. So in Vedanta, in Hindu culture, we have three support systems there. Sagun Sakar, where you worship the form, the infinite consciousness, through a form and a name. So suppose you say, I love Shiva. And there are many forms, whichever form one likes, one can choose. All represent the same truth. So I chant Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. So there is a mala. Now suppose this is the mala. Now I hold this mala and I close my eyes. I visualize the form here. Here or here. Either of these are focal points of meditation. Now I am aligning my hands, my heart and my head. With the form, in the head, I am visualizing the form. In the heart, I have feelings for the Lord. I love Bhagavan. I love the values that he represents, the ideals, the qualities he has. And that is what I am internalizing. And with the hand, I am turning the beads so that the count I keep and the mind doesn't wander. The moment the mind wanders, this will stop. So again, I bring it back. So now using that, I do the chanting. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Now this, if every day I am able to practice 108 times, 27 times, whatever number we want to start with, this will align the body, mind, intellect. It will also help us to surrender to the divine, because I know Shiva is not just a form. Shiva is infinite consciousness, and Shiva is my true self as consciousness. So this is called Sagun Sakar. That's one method to focus, because in this there will be an emotional anchoring. And I know that Shiva is all pervasive. Shiva is with me at all times. So in difficult times also I will say Shiva is with me, I can deal with it. So this is called Sagun Sakar. Then the second aspect is Sagun Nirakar, where you focus on qualities but no form.
Like?
Which is the sound symbol Omkar.
Oh.
Om doesn't have a form
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Om is a sound symbol. Om iti ekaksharam Brahma. Now when I do chanting, I will not focus on the form. What will I do? Just focus on the sound. Oh. If my mind is quiet enough, then I will keep a gap between the two ohms. Then what we discussed, that awareness, I can become aware of it.
Yeah.
If my mind is too much wandering, then I will say Om, 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 quick. Now, that time I'm just focusing on the sound, and my feeling is that sound represents the divine. I lose myself in the sound. And the last is the Nirgun Nirakar, which is the pointers of the truth, where we say I am unborn, unchanging, undying, Aja, Avyaya, Avinashi, Achintya. Now there I focus only on the pointer and I say I am that unborn consciousness, I am not this body. Now these are three different support systems, depending on three different types of temperaments of people, or even the same person at different points in time wants to use different systems, they can use.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is the way one practices single pointed.
Yeah. I love it. And what about the detachment? Give us, like, for us, like, give us a tip for all of us to practice detachment, which is the second step that you said.
Right. So detachment can be practiced with a simple mantra. We call it as wow, with or without. So with a promotion, you say wow. Without a promotion, you say wow. If the morning coffee you get, you say wow. If you don't get the morning coffee, you say wow. To be happy every moment is detachment.
Yeah, yeah.
And no matter what has come,
Yeah.
I say wow, this has come. Okay, I accept it. Now how to deal with it? We deal with, because it's a sport. Finally, it is a sport. It's actually a game that is happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe difficult to apply when some things are, very, very tough or sad things sometimes happen. But in the big picture, it is all actually speaking a game. If that clarity has come, the person will say, wow. And Krishna lived his entire life with that spirit of wow.
Yeah.
Swami Chinmaya used to say, his whole life is a tragedy. First time I heard it, I was like, what is he saying? How can Krishna's life be tragedy? Krishna is like, wow, man, what a life he lived. Very glorious and enjoyable and full of fun, frolic. But every single moment, there is so much sorrow in his life. But nobody will know that. Why? Because the way he lived is wow. He was born in a jail, separated from his parents. His uncle is trying to kill him. All the demons have been sent to kill him.
Yeah.
Again, he separated from the Yasoda Nanda Baba. Every single moment is tragedy in his life.
Yeah.
But the man lived in such deep anchoring in the detachment. So, wow is the mantra. Practice wow.
Wow, I love it. So no matter what happens, wow.
But we should not misuse this saying, if I get up in the morning and do sadhana, wow. If I don't do exercise, wow. If I don't do my duty, wow. We're not to be misused.
I love that. So we coming to the end, and I think so. Our mission is to help people do something bigger. Maybe you can, for people who who are there watching us and they feel that they were meant to something bigger. Like, what is your advice for people that want to step into their power and create something bigger?
So Vedanta says two very beautiful points. Vedanta says first you identify what is your Swadharma, what are you really made for.
Yeah.
And when you discover that what you are really made for, whatever is your niche, and where you are able to create an impact,
Yeah.
and where there is where there you are able to go beyond your ego, and that gives you so much of joy.
Yeah.
So you find that field where you belong. Like a musician loves music, a sports person loves sport, like you are doing podcasting, you found your belonging there and you are seeing the journey of transformation. So find your Swadharma, because when you find that Swadharma, then you can really go beyond the ego and there's a great joy in that. You will lose sense of time, there is so much of absorption, there's satisfaction, there's an impact. So first find what you really love. Don't run behind only money, fame, power, position. They will come, they will happen whenever they have to happen. Seek what is your temperament. That is first level. And the second level is to definitely spend time to inquire, because the biggest is infinity. There's nothing bigger than infinity. And that is already your nature. So spend time in doing self-inquiry, studying this knowledge and gain more and more clarity, and then share that with people. Because the more I share that knowledge, the more I am in touch with who I am as my true nature, because I'm reflecting on it.
I think one of the big problems is a lot of people, they struggle to identify their Swadharma. Yeah, so what do they want? What I was meant to do? What is your advice in order to find the Swadharma?
First, I would say spend time in definitely introspecting to understand who you are as a person, what are your value systems, what do you be like doing, what comes naturally to you. Introspection is very important. Many people don't introspect. They go by perceptions of people, family pressure, financial pressure, social pressure, and then they choose a career. Observe. One is introspection. Second is exploration. I must explore. If I'm not very clear, I must explore different things to then finally come to certain things. And it is not that if I come to one thing, then my life, I have to do only that. Like how you shifted gears. When you understood, okay, not this, I want to do this. So Swadharma is a continuously evolving process also for some people. So one should not say, okay, once I have chosen this, I am done now. If one has found it, then nothing like it. But otherwise, it's an evolving process. So explore. And third, ask some of the most fundamental questions. Doing what, I lose sense of time. If money was not a constraint, what would I really do? Being in that field where the work itself is a joy, where I don't need recognition, appreciation, nothing, where work itself is joy, where I enjoy doing that. Fourth, to in that field, what is that which I can do where I'm able to serve the society to the best of my abilities? Fifth, what do I want to be remembered for? Sixth, observe in your life. This is a psychological tool actually. What did you want to be between the age of 5 and 10, between the age of 11 and 16, between the age of 17 and 22, between the age of 23 and 28. These different age groups, if you identify, introspect and write down what you really wanted to be. Sometimes there will be a common thread, but one would not have recognized it and one would have chosen something else for various reasons. If I see the common thread, then that will also help me to identify, oh, this is my Swadharma. And definitely read lives of different people and understand how they have discovered what they are really made for, and then think about it for yourself. So there are a few things one can do.
So good. So I resonate so much with that. I've been living that. I've been following that truth, like following what is my true nature, what is my Swadharma, and I reflected, and now I'm living it. And when you are living in your element and doing what you love, it's another level of experience of life. And that's why I created something bigger. It's just for that. It's just to help people to find that thing that really drives them, and just dedicate to your life to that. That's when, everything changes, and we can achieve something bigger, and we can live a more meaningful life.
That's very wonderful, actually. And something bigger is definitely you found your calling and
Yeah.
it's helping many people to.
Yeah.
So that is amazing.
Yeah. I know. In order to finalize our conversation, would be lovely if you can guide us through a Vedanta meditation.
So we will take the first verse of Nirvana Shatkam and we will just softly chant it and internalize the meaning and lift our minds to that. Mano buddhyahankara chitta ninaham na cha shrotra jihve na cha grana netre na cha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayu Chidananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Sada Chinmayoham Sada Satchidananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Shivoham. I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the memory, nor am I the ego. I am not the five senses of seeing, hearing, tasting, smelling, and touching. I am not the five elements, the space, air, fire, water, and earth. I am none of the equipment. I am pure consciousness, auspiciousness, and bliss alone. Purity is my nature, auspiciousness is my nature, consciousness is my nature. Infinite am I, blissful am I. Beyond all boundaries, beyond all limitations. That infinite truth alone am I. Shivoham, Shivoham. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May I move from the untruth to the truth, from the darkness to light, and from mortality to immortality. May there be peace, peace and peace. Hari Om.